Oh, the pads were popping at Hallis Hall today. We were all there. That was a really loud clap. We're going to break everything down for you. Hear from Ben Johnson, some complimentary things towards Caleb Williams, and another call out for Luther Burden. Great show coming your way. It's going to be just as entertaining as practice was this morning. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, another training camp edition. CHGO training camp coverage powered by Circus Sports Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs with you today. We are all in our navy blue, I just realized.
I look good. Braggs was outstanding today. Really strong presence at camp.
Thank you. I was happy to be back. Appreciate the rain staying away. Humidity was still there, but it sounds like it's going to cool down tomorrow. Yeah. And now I just need the rain to stay away again tomorrow.
Are you done fighting with Bears Twitter?
No, I never. That battle never ends because we battle. That's our love language on Bears Twitter is battling. There were some people there today from Bears Twitter. They didn't say hi. I felt like.
Why didn't you say hi to them?
Well, because we're battling.
Okay, fair enough. Today was a fun practice. We're going to get into it, best and worst, what matters most. We got some Ben Johnson audio for you to share. I thought his press conference this morning was really, it was somewhat important. I'd say that. There's some nuggets in there I think matter. And also, I think part of the storyline is how Ben Johnson's handling some of this stuff publicly, I think is part of the story too. So want to get into some of that. We got Stephen Nicholas producing as always, but we'll start with the best and worst. And I will start with this. Brought up the pads to Ben Johnson, the press conference before practice, and he was like, you're going to hear the pads a little bit more today. And I was wondering what he meant by that. And then practice started, and the first team period, live tackling.
Yeah.
And I'm going through my head, I'm going, I cannot recall the Bears doing a real live tackling session under Matt Eberflus. Maybe that first year one time, but I couldn't really remember. And then Kyler Gordon in his press conference later was like, yeah, no, we haven't done that.
No.
So that's good to see. It's just entertaining, first of all. I don't, know that they're going to hand the ball off to DJ Moore again in a live tackling period because I didn't enjoy him getting tackled and sort of limping off. But that's part of the risk reward when you go through that. You got to callous your body's up. You got to get ready for football. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. That was by far the best from practice today for me. My worst is also sort of a good thing at the same time, but
Bears Twitter's mad at you for this wording. The battles. You got to get in the battle.
Unbelievable.
Get in the battle. Come on.
So I said good news, Luther Burden's in team drills. Bad news is he just got thrown out of team drills because he couldn't line up correctly.
But that's good news.
And of course, there's nothing bad about the fact that the guy can't line up.
Good news, Ben Johnson.
Spin everything forward.
Honey Bear has learned how to be a honey bear overall.
Embrace the battle. It was a good thing. Ben Johnson instilling what he's talked about, accountability.
Yes.
The thing the players asked for all season long last year.
And he did have a catch today in team drills, Luther Burden did.
I got to say, I still think Luther Burden's unbelievably talented, and if there is a coaching, this coaching staff is way more equipped than past ones to get the most out of him and get him in line and get all this figured out. But if you are sitting there on Twitter, just guy hasn't practiced at all. Coaches called him out like 3 times in the media, including this morning. He gets out there, can't get lined up. Then after he gets tossed out later in practice, he gets called for a penalty for not getting lined up.
Not getting set.
In the 2-minute drill, he's lollygagging it back to the line of scrimmage. They flag him for that in the 2-minute drill, which cost them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's good, though? We're just Bears Twitter. Everything's good. Everything's great. There's nothing wrong here. There's nothing wrong to see here. Come on, guys. Like, let's look at this objectively at least a little bit.
Hold him accountable just like Ben Johnson is.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
The fans can do that, too. We can do that, too. Your head coach is just telling you exactly what's going on here, which we're going to play a little bit later on. And all of that can be true. And also, we like Luther Burden's talent. We think he can be really good, but there's no doubt that this is a challenge right now, and the coaches are trying to get through to him. And I guarantee you, because I don't think the coaches either A, realized the penalty was called on him later, or it's the 2-minute drill, so you just got to move on to the next play and handle it later. But he will get called out for that in the meeting rooms, in film session later today, without a doubt, as he should. So anyway, that was my worst. But yes, I was going to actually spin a little positively, because it is good to see the accountability, not letting anything slip through the cracks, because in the past we would see that slip through the cracks.
And not only did he get tossed out of that early team drill for, having some kind of line of scrimmage penalty, whether it was motion or whatever they had, but then Ben Johnson stared at him as he walked over to the wide receiver group, and then Antoine Randall was talking with Luther. So you just like to see all the dynamics of the coaching staff. And then I think we need to get a new number for Luther. So I'm on his side for this. 87 is too clunky of a number for Luther Burden. I think that's throwing things off. If I may, Carm, I'm going to jump in with my best and worst. And for me, with those live sessions, and this went on all day. This wasn't just one live session. This went on for 2 hours today of hard hitting, hard tackling. You saw it right from the start from Gervon Dexter. You saw Chris Williams lay out Kyle Monangai up the middle. We were like, whoa, who was that? You had to make sure you knew it was, because it was such an earmarked moment. Guys in the secondary on the third team getting cracked across the middle on some hospital balls, as they call them. It was a pretty physical day. TJ Edwards tackling DeAndre Swift on the outside. But for me, because it was such a physical and live practice, my best is what we saw from the run game. Right from the start, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, Roschon Johnson all had different reps with the first team, and all had moments where they had burst through the middle, where they had blockers set up, where you saw that offensive line continuity, especially within the interior of that offensive line. They were really testing them and challenging them today. So I enjoyed seeing that stuff. There was even a moment, and I'm sure we'll get into it later, because Hoge, Carm, you guys called it out, where they checked at the line of scrimmage. Drew Dahlman identified something. They checked into a run, and then they had a successful run for 8 yards on that play. So certainly when you talk about, I've seen some different reports. Some people thought the offense played well. Some people thought the offense, it was okay. But you also have to include the run game when you're dissecting what the offense has been doing. I know we always get so keened in on what Caleb Williams is doing every day, and we're going to talk about that. But I think the run game was certainly of note, and we saw some really positive signs, because you don't get too many live practices like you did today, and that's the only time you're really going to be able to gauge just how good the potential of the run game can be. My worst is I really had my eyes on Dio Odengbo today. We were on that side of the field where he was the closest side where you could really dial into those one-on-one opportunities on the edge, and he goes up against all of them: Braxton Jones, Ozzie Trapillo, Karan Amagaji. And from my count, I only saw one good rep from Dio today, where he did beat a double team with a nice little up and under move and was able to get through two different guys to blow up a play. Outside of that, I was watching him get stonewalled more times than not. And so for me, he's got it. When he had that up and under move, it's like, all right, let's see some more of that in one-on-ones when you're on the edge like that, because if you're going to be the guy opposite of Montez, they're not going to bring anybody else in. Yes, you're probably going to be very good in the run game, but I need to see, your counter moves and how you're going to get around. You can't just bull through Ozzie Trapillo. The guy is a mountain, and I thought he got the most of him today, and I thought so did the other left tackles as well.
So wasn't it, oh, dang, Bo? It was more of a,
It's one practice, but, it was certainly something that I earmarked
Just say it out loud. It was
Oh, dang, bro. I don't really do this with you because it's weird.
Yeah, well, you
please just get your best and worst.
You have
for the love of God.
You have potential to get into it. All right, quickly, I'll give you my best and worst. My best on the Luther Burden play where he didn't go in motion, and Tyson Bagent looked at him like, "What are you doing, dude?" And then Ben yanked him off the field. Go over there. Luther, and let's relearn what's going on here, or learn what's going on here. ALLCITY Zacchaeus came in on that play off the bench, if you will, ran a sweet route wide open. Bagent fired it to him, little, not the hardest throw in the history of the world, just a little out route. Bang, Zacchaeus catch. But the cut and getting himself open, it was just a further underlining. This dude is here to play. This guy knows what he's doing, and he jumped right in for Luther. And it also underlined Luther's got some competition in front of him to get on the field. Was good to see Luther catch a couple of balls. My worst on the day, there were a lot of Bears just kind of sort of hobbling around a little bit out there. Just seemed like they were tired. I loved, as we do this best and worst, spinning everything positive, I loved how hard they were pushed today. But Cole looked a little tired at one point and looked like he was walking a little gingerly. I'm sure he's fine because he's Cole Kmet. He never misses a game. Same thing for some of the offensive linemen at different points in time. So I don't think the Bears are the best conditioned team in the NFL right now. I think that's still a work in progress on building them conditioned tough. So it was hot out there. Super challenging day. Training camp getting to be a little bit of a grind, I suppose. This is a back-to-back, but I still think there's some progress to be made on being in tip-top. We're going to kill you on every play shape.
Yep. I think that we are going to learn. I actually kind of agree with you on the conditioning thing. I think it's a factor of just getting pushed. I think it's normal training camp conditioning. And it'll get better and better. I know Ben Johnson made mention this morning that he liked the fact that it was pretty hot yesterday and today. It's going to actually cool off, and with these morning practices, probably the next few days not be too bad. So at least they got the most out of these last 2 days. In terms of what matters most, I think that we're seeing progress from the offense. And we're going to hear from Ben Johnson after our timeout here, specifically on Caleb Williams' progress. But even just as a whole with the offense and in the context, too, of the defense, I think this is important. Like I saw some of the other reporters that were there at practice. They said it wasn't too good for the offense. I disagree. I think it was better. And I also think you're seeing this is what training camp ideally looks like, where sometimes the defense is winning, sometimes the offense is winning. And it's a little bit of back and forth. I think the last couple days, especially today, I've been charting every single one of Caleb Williams' passes. It was not good last week. Last 2 days, he has been over that 70% mark from adjusted completion percentage standpoint, which, as I understand it, is how the Bears are really tracking it. When they say 70%, they're accounting for drops and things like that. So that's good. That's progress. Is it perfect the entire practice? No. Bears offense has had some victories in the 2-minute drill in camp. Today they didn't. So that's what I mean by that back and forth. So the other day, the offense gets the best of the defense. It ended with a Rome Odunze touchdown from Caleb Williams in that 2-minute drill. Well, we heard from Ben Johnson this morning. Dennis Allen has an ego too. He wants to.
That was awesome.
He wants to win too. So what do you think happened in that meeting room? Defense got after it. They made those corrections. So yeah, we're going to see them bounce back. Ton of pressure. I think they blitzed Kevin Byard on the first snap of the 2-minute drill. Came right through. Caleb had to throw it away. Second one, I think he dirted it too. Then there was a scramble that they ruled a sack in the backfield, and they threw it short of the 4th down to Devin Duvernay. He didn't get all the way there, and Montez Sweat said, yeah, get the hell off the field.
Yep.
Love that competitiveness. So today was the type of practice I want to see more consistently, where it's a little bit of a back and forth between the offense and defense. No one unit looks like it's dominating the other. I think that's a good thing.
We've never seen a practice under Matt Eberflus that even remotely resembled what we saw today, as far as the length of time that the offense and defense were going at each other in 11-11s. As far as the pure physicality of it, I mean, you mentioned earlier Monangai getting swallowed up by Chris Williams. That does not do it justice as far as how hard he was hit on the play. I mean, he got smoked. Monangai, by the way, as far as making progress, he was complimented by Ben for being rock solid as far as knowing exactly what he's doing and also being willing to stand in there and block, which is not exactly the easiest thing to do, but Monungai's got it. And Monungai got smoked a bunch today and got up every time and ran down to the end zone. Nothing's phasing me. I thought that was a huge positive today.
I mean, when you talk about conditioning, I think one of the big wins of a day like today in terms of physicality was there was no injuries, at least from what we saw on the practice field. Nobody getting taken off, and there was some really hard hits going on. I think what you're talking about, Hogan, I know we're going to get to a timeout, but first half of practice, they don't always run as much. Every day seems like Ben's tried to find a theme of what they're going to do, whether it's red zone or it's third down or different things, and today I really felt like they did have a hyper focus on the run game. So that means like the first couple team drills and 11 on 11s, there weren't many passes even being attempted. And so Caleb on those 4 or 5 first passes was able to complete those. So that's efficiency. And I think that's the word you saw in the first half of practice. And then the defense started to win as it went along. And then obviously one of the incompletions was a beautiful ball down the field to DJ Moore, and Kyler Gordon's only option 40 yards down the field was to drag DJ Moore down for a penalty, or else he was going to have a big play for a touchdown. So that, when you talk about adjusted completion percentage, that's a great pass. It doesn't get charted as a completion because Kyler's cheating, but at the end of the day, it was a great pass. So I think there was some really impressive stuff, and I have some other thoughts on what we saw from Caleb today, but I know we're going to take a timeout.
Slightly quibble with that. I think he would have caught it. It was a good throw.
He would have caught it.
Talking one of DJ Moore?
Maybe.
Why wouldn't he caught it?
It was in range. I don't know if it was
it was a perfect pass.
Don't argue with me.
It literally was a perfect pass.
I haven't seen one complete all training camp. So you
guys
can take the leap that he would have caught it. It wasn't. At least it wasn't 20 yards over.
Evidently, you weren't watching the one-on-ones yesterday, or listening to the show you were on, where I told you he threw a beautiful deep ball to DJ Moore. Perfect coverage from Tyreek Stevenson. Great pass. Caught by DJ.
Well, we know who he.
Don't look at me like that. I got a bunch of people here watching the show that'll back me up in the comments.
And we know why he missed it, because we know who he was.
Everybody could find one. I don't know if he would have caught it. It was in the vicinity. That's for sure. It was a good throw. Oh God, no! It was.
Let me get a blanket and throw it in the.
No, it was in the vicinity. It was in the vicinity.
Yeah. Listen. Somebody's got
blanket.
Somebody's got to calm Honey Bear down, and my job is to do it.
You and Pat Finley go out to dinner tonight. Just talk about
everything
going wrong.
No, don't Pat Finley me. I didn't say they didn't have. I thought they made a lot of progress today, but this guy's claiming catches that are on bombs. Somebody's got to stop him.
You know what? I'll just say it. There may or may not be things out there where you can see it for yourself. And I'm telling you right now, it was a catch.
Okay.
Catch.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I don't either, but I agree with it was a catch. All right, we'll take our first time. When we come back, we're going to hear from Ben Johnson on the progress Caleb Williams is making. And I'm also going to tell you why I think Ben Johnson has some Vic Fangio in him. And I am here for it. I love it. That's coming up next. But first,
Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. That's what's most important. And Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. So visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 or older or Illinois medical card holders. And for existing users, use the promo code CHGO50 off one Cresco Labs brand item. That's right.
This is great.
She walked up to your feet and then she jumped on the table, and
it's a boy.
Whatever. There you go, Hoge.
You're not just
good. There you go. Good job.
You didn't just go to Sunnyside.
Hey, look at
actually a cat.
Yeah. Well, I think that she wants the Sunnyside. Looking to buy, sell, or trade, or rip open a pack of cards too. Young male cat. Arena Club is changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs, the no fee options. You gotta check out these slab packs. You want to check out these slab packs. You are never going to be in better shape than when you check out these slab packs. They are going to allow you to make more money than you've ever could imagine. It's $25 for a pack, and you could add on values worth tens of thousands of dollars. Every pack has the grails that are at least 20 times the price of a pack. So right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO and check them out at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, July 30th to August 3rd. I think we should have a battle. Who's better, Poppy or the cat? Poppy versus cat. It's a great job.
Right, first of all, his name is Jackson.
All right, Jackson versus Poppy.
He's fantastic. All he needs in the world is love.
I love Jackson.
Just like Tabby's. Speaking of cats, how's your new cat?
We're there. We can talk about it later because I know everybody wants to get to the football, but there's an integration process taking place.
Bad cat.
Oh no,
we're not there yet.
That cat knows that he's in a horrid home because not because of obviously the females in there, but because of
it's Cheeto. It's my other cat that's prowling like a lion waiting to attack his new prey.
Oh no,
that's weird. Usually tabbies are receptive.
Well, we'll get there.
Did you name the other one?
We'll get there. We named him Juice.
Juice is its name?
Yeah.
Like orange juice?
You got it. So we got two tabbies.
You named your cat OJ?
Let's get to the offense.
Great breakdown there.
All right. Yes.
By the way, we did watch the video on the during the ad read there, and I'm probably wrong, but not wrong.
The alleged.
He probably catches it. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He probably catches it.
Yeah, it's like
he probably catches it. It was a good throw. I didn't say it wasn't a good throw. He probably catches it.
It also doesn't matter. It was a well-thrown ball. And it resulted in pass interference. In a game, everybody's happy.
It matters, and you should be on my side because he just makes things up sometimes just for his own honey bearness. And when he goes honey bear, somebody's got to be there, and I am committed to being there. But this one, I think he got it. Good job.
Okay. Let's hear from Ben Johnson. He was
please, for the love of
Caleb Williams. That's what you really care about. When Ben Johnson talks about Caleb, we all listen. Now you get to too.
Yeah, I probably just see growth. He is so much more comfortable right now. Even yesterday, the walkthrough yesterday, just in terms of moving around. You know, we go from gun to under to the tight ends are moving, the receivers are moving. We're adding a few more every single day, and so I think his process. And I told him this on the player day off. His process is really clean right now. I'm talking about how he's preparing. I'm really pleased with it. He's doing the work behind the scenes that no one else is seeing, and we're starting to see the dividends being paid from it. So, thank you.
So, shout out to Josh Jones on Twitter who responded. So I basically tweeted out that quote there that you just heard from Ben Johnson this morning, and he responded, "Positive things hit a lot better when the coach is also willing to be publicly critical." I could not agree with that more. Because Ben has been transparent about this process. He has been critical of Caleb at times. He has outlined exactly what Caleb needs to get better at the other day, and it actually kind of came via Declan Doyle because it was his day to talk. But Declan brought up how they're dialing up pressure and like purposely leaving rushers free at times just to speed Caleb up and see how he reacts to it. That's good transparency. That's good information that helps us all process some of those struggles that were going on. And so when he turns around and pays him a really nice compliment this morning, it's believable. It's believable to me that even in the last week that he has improved on a lot of those things. So, especially, and I think we've seen it with our own eyes too. We have seen less issues pre-snap. We have seen a smoother operation, which he's talking about. And I think what's also very noticeable in there, or notable, is Ben specifically complimenting Caleb's preparation. Because that has been, let's just call it what it is. There has been questions about that in the offseason. I don't think it's been a huge issue, but there's been some breadcrumbs here and there that have been called out in different areas. And so to hear Ben Johnson say, I'm talking about how he's preparing, I'm really pleased with it. He's doing the work behind the scenes that no one else has seen, and we're starting to see the dividends being paid from it. That is what you want to hear about your second-year quarterback who went through a horrid rookie season for a lot of different reasons, a lot that was not his fault, some of which was. but that's what you want to hear at this point, week 2 of training camp.
Well, let's just do the eye test on it to start, at least. The offense, and I'm just going to talk about today. It looked better today. Christo was there today. Greg's was there today. I turned to both of y'all and was like, this is the best that it's looked. I thought the overall process was great. And the guy that was messing up today was Luther Burden. It wasn't Caleb. So that I'll take that these are good moments of progress, and he's underlining it. I also do think that Ben is getting a good grasp on what he can handle and what he can't handle. And so I think they are sort of playing to Caleb a little bit. You would think logically that is going on right now. And I like the fact that they're working on the run game a lot, because if you think that you're going to put it all on Caleb in year 2 with having to process everything that's going on with his offense, that ain't going to work. You need to be able to run the ball. And the fact they're actually digging into it on the daily, seemingly, that makes a whole lot of sense. So what I'm liking about it is that I think Ben has a very clear grasp on how to move this forward and how to make this viable this year for Caleb and this year for the Bears.
Well, I mean, as they've talked about, they're throwing the kitchen sink at Caleb Williams and the offense. They are trying to see what he can take in and then work their way back to what they know he can handle. And I don't know if we have the audio where he talks about how Ben Johnson talks about looking back at his 2022 days in Detroit.
That was interesting. I don't have it.
I'll read it then, because Courtney Cronin asked Ben Johnson about how he installed offense and how much information he gave players in 2022. And Ben said he noticed how different the installs looked year to year in Detroit from 2022 to 2024. And he said in year 1, it seems much more complex for the Bears offense in year 1 than it did the Lions. And this is the exact quote from Ben Johnson. He said, I don't expect them to have it mastered, and yet they're trusting. They're really jumping in the deep end here and trusting the fact that we've got a plan in place. We know what this is going to look like week 1. We're going to get the pieces aligned correctly. They're just doing their jobs, knowing what to do, and we can detail it up once we get it on tape. So that's my point is Ben Johnson was at a point with Detroit of having to build up to this offense that he now feels like he's got real control of. Now he comes to Chicago, where a quarterback is still in a very young developing stage. When he got to Detroit, Jared Goff, what year was he in as a quarterback? Year 6? So this is a totally different quarterback that still has his own developmental curve to deal with, and yet they're dealing with a much more complex installation of the offense. So throwing the kitchen sink at him and then seeing the progression. Friday was an ugly practice, but they finished Friday strong. Saturday was a better practice. Monday was a better practice. Today was his best practice, according to the 3 of us. You guys have been to all of them, so you'd know better. But all the point is you're seeing that smoothness. And for me in particular, I want to see how he looks under center. I want to see how he looks in the play action game. And today you saw plays where he had to turn his head through play action and get his head back around to the offense and find where his eyes need to be. It wasn't perfect. There were times where I think he probably should have gotten rid of the ball quicker, but at the same time, he was finding his guys, and there was a lot more smoother post-snap process. And when he's saying it seems like he's got his details down pre-snap, next step is post-snap, and I thought today was a step forward. It's not a finished product today, but you certainly saw that progress.
Yeah, it's just a good sign. Now we'll see what it's like tomorrow. Like I brought up earlier in the show, the defense wants to have their improvement too, and their battle. So, that competitive back and forth is what's good.
Oh, that 2-minute drill, they had a play action, and Caleb turned around and was.
And by the way, we should have mentioned too, Elijah Hicks ended practice with a boom. I think it was Duvernay he knocked down on that last play.
Yep.
And he did the Key and Peele the 3 thrust thing again.
That was outstanding. But before we close this one,
you saw that? I thought you left.
No. I was in the deep. I was in the deep corner. I was paying attention.
Okay.
I did get ahead of you guys today because I had to strategize and be ahead of the curve, which I mean I am every single day, but today was even better. The Drew Dahlman moment that we have not talked about yet, I think is huge, because there was one play today where Dahlman saw what the defense was doing. Caleb did not. Dahlman looked up, pointed.
Whoa.
You don't have to protect him on every.
But you don't know that.
Why didn't he call it out himself?
Because it's the center's job. He's calling out the mic point, and as soon as he did it, they either flipped the play to a run, and that I don't know. What I do know is whatever Dahlman pointed out, Caleb was the one that then made the next decision.
Right. However,
that's how it should work.
Oh, okay.
That's why you brought in Drew Dahlman, a center who knows what he's looking at. He pointed out something with the linebacker, communicated to the quarterback. The quarterback had about 6 seconds to put Durham Smythe in motion from the left to the right. I do not know if they were just flipping the play or changing from a pass to a run. Don't know that part. What I do know is Caleb listened to what Drew said, made the correct change, and they barely got the snap off just in time and had a successful run play.
All true. And I'm pointing out that I think it's great that he has a center that is going to help him, which is why you paid him the big money to come in here and do it. I have not seen the center do that with either other quarterback during camp. That was a big moment right there. It was and maybe that's exactly how it was supposed to go, but it stood out to me. There's a center who knows what the hell he's doing, helping his quarterback. Caleb took it, ran with it. That was sweet, and they ended up having a positive play. That combo being in sync together is going to be huge for the Bears, and we saw it right there.
Well, and it's not just a combo, right? I mean, last year you had, at this time, Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates rotating as the center, trying to figure out who was going to be the first team center. Exactly. You had an offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron, who we found out 4 months later from guys like Keenan Allen was not being hard enough on them. And then they get to the season, and he doesn't even have a scripted first 15 plays the first 4 weeks of the season that DJ Moore had to call out. So at that time, this point last year, you had an offense coordinator who seemingly didn't know how to develop a rookie quarterback. You had 2 centers splitting reps with the ones. This year, you talk about surrounding a quarterback with a healthy environment. You have Drew Dahlman, somebody that knows what he's doing and showed it in that moment. You have a head coach in Ben Johnson that is detail specific and is trying to install a complex offense underneath Caleb Williams. And then you got JT Barrett and all the Declan Doyle and everybody else around him. So this is good signs. They're on a right track. Doesn't mean they're going to go 14-3, but as of right now, this is the process and progress you want to see.
All right, we got to take another time out here, but I'm going to challenge you guys in the break here because we got over 1,700 people watching right now. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. The shows have been huge the last couple days, up to over 1,800 now. Thank you, Steven.
We appreciate all 1,700 except for T3P.
Yes.
That's not true, T3P. I love you.
Well, yeah, because you have the same quarterback narratives.
I don't pay attention to narratives. I pay attention to anybody who watches this show. Every single one of you. Edward Elric, I love you today, and I know you love me back.
All right. What I was going to say is please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. I want to see on the other side. I know Steven's got a counter, but on the other side of this break, I want to see at least 10 new subscribers.
Okay.
10 new subscribers during the break.
Does it cost anything?
86,234. It's completely free to do. We'll tell you about the paid thing on the other side of the break.
200 new subscribers, and we'll have the cat replace Carm for the rest of the show.
I might do that anyway.
I love the cat.
Jackson's a huge Caleb Williams fan. All right. Take a break and be right back. Hey, whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. What you really need is that CHGO Hogan Johns hat from Branded Bills, which is available right now too. If you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart, just like we did with Hogan Johns, Branded Bills can come through for you too. They have you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel that you need. Plus, they have partnership with over 40 colleges, including 10 Big Ten schools. Remember when there was actually only 10 teams in the Big Ten?
Loved it.
Now there's 17.
Now
there's only one that matters.
18 there, buddy.
There's only one that matters, and it's not the banner pennant behind my head.
Actually, these are the ones that matter. Ohio State, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State, Penn State, Purdue, and USC. Ohio State's well, I don't know if it's there or not. It's one of the two. Head to brandonbills.com. Use code BBCHGO for 15% off your first order.
And you know that moment when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or at Hoge's house or at Hallis Hall or on the roof of your car or in Bragg's back pack and just whatever's in there. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's when you lose your sunglasses. But if you do that, hey, you just got to get with our friends at Shady Rays. These sunglasses, first of all, they'll replace them, and they also are made for real life. They're good looking, they're polarized, they're durable, they're sweet, and they're not stupidly expensive. You golf every single day, and your wife doesn't want you to do that anymore. You can get yourself a pair of Shady Rays. You don't have to go golfing. Shady Rays has eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring an exclusive offer. You go to shadyrays.com, use the code CHGO, you get 35% off the polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself those shades. They're rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
All right. Let's see it, Steven. I don't remember what the number was.
E-Hogue. I don't remember it either. So E-Carm too. I think it was 234. I think we've got 7.
Okay. That's disappointing. You can just
hey, well, let me just try to upgrade the selling process here just for you. Listen, if you don't subscribe, you're not going to know when the show is. We're moving around all the time. Pre-post, daily, Monday to Friday at noon, but training camp moves around. It's free. Turn your notifications on. If the Bears make a trade, they do anything, we'll be the first ones that are going on. We promise you that. You want to be subscribed to the channel. We appreciate it. And by the way, you also have all the other Chicago content for you too. So just hit the subscribe button and tell a friend. We love you. Thank you.
Plus, I don't know another outlet that had 3 Bears shows yesterday.
There is not
Monday in July.
There is not another outlet that did that.
I mean, it was
CHGO Bears. We had Hogan Johns. We had Bears After Dark. Basically all in a row.
And by all accounts, everyone seemed to enjoy all the content being pumped out. So like that's what we're trying to give you here is different perspectives, different voices. We got, obviously Jerry Azuma and Lance Briggs and the Brick by Brick show. So you get the player's perspective as well. And Adam Johns obviously doing an incredible job here in the first couple of weeks he's been here with his exclusive written content. He just put out a new piece that Hoge will tell you about. And I texted Hoge or Johns the other day and was just like, man, I'm blown away by how you're pumping these articles out. He's got more here in the works. So from a written standpoint, from a podcasting standpoint and perspective, it's just you're not going to find a better spot than what we're doing for you here this season.
Yeah, brand new, huge feature from Johnsy on Ben Johnson. The Ben Johnson way is what we're calling it. If you want the details on basically the player's perspective on what Ben Johnson's doing and why he's already getting the credibility he is, it's an awesome feature. It's up now, allchgo.com. Become a diehard, and you can get that. You can also get our awesome Brandon Bills hat or a t-shirt. We'll tell you more about it a little bit later on because we got to get back to the football right now. We did get 16 subscribers there. Thank you very much.
All right.
We appreciate it. All right. Let's talk about Luther Burden a little bit more. We talked a little bit early on in the show about what was going on with him today. Let's flash back to pre-practice, what Ben Johnson had to say about Luther this morning.
It shows up already. I mean, we were in the walkthrough yesterday afternoon, and the misalignments, we have to rehuddle, we have to start it all over again, and so he's a little bit behind right now.
So, that was in response to a question basically about, the time that Luther Burden's missed. Do you see it? And it says it shows up. Now, you can either overreact to that or, from my perspective, I just appreciate the honesty. These are all big boys. They're professional football players. I loved Vic Fangio press conferences back in the day. He would just call it as it is. That guy should have made that play. That guy was in the wrong position here. He wasn't throwing any
very matter of fact
bus. He was just like, that's what happened.
Yep.
It's okay. I mean, there's certainly, as a coach, there are lines you can cross that will start to degrade the trust of your players. But if you are consistent on a daily basis with how you handle your criticism, with how you handle your compliments, with how you're teaching, with how you're holding guys accountable, and that is a consistent thing, and so far it has. Yes, we're still early. We're still in the honeymoon phase with Ben Johnson. Then, and I brought this up earlier in the show, then both your compliments, and especially your compliments, don't just come off as coach speak. And then your criticism also over time won't come off as so jarring at the same time. Like, oh, that guy, just call that guy. It's not bus tossing. Luther Burden did not practice from rookie minicamp until yesterday.
Right.
He's behind. No crap. Obviously, like,
and this was, that audio and that press conference with Ben Johnson was before practice. And what does he cite? He's like, from an operations standpoint and getting lined up, and sometimes we have to start over. Well, guess what happened 45 minutes later? That's exactly what happened with Luther Burden.
Not lined up, pull out.
Right. So he's not messing around. And when you look at the comparison between him and Colson Loveland, who also missed a lot of time through the summer, the narrative has been different from Ben Johnson. And what did we see from Colson Loveland since he's gotten on the practice field? Somebody who
he knows what he's doing.
He's really dialed in. And that doesn't mean that Luther Burden can't get there. It just means Ben Johnson is holding him accountable to get there. And if it's in a week when joint practices and preseason games get underway, so be it. But right now, he's not there.
So I'm learning to speak Ben Johnson on the daily here. And he's annoyed with Luther Burden. He wouldn't have underlined it to the level that he underlined it, that they had to stop and rehuddle and do it if he wasn't irritated. He's annoyed, and he's not afraid to put it out there, to your Vic Fangio point, Hoge. It's interesting to me, like, look, Colson Loveland this time, he knows what he's doing. And I think it's interesting, too, when you go back to the quarterback. Look, Caleb's played a lot more than Tyson. Tyson knows the offense better, at least right now. He just does. And why is that? Well, it's probably because he's studying more, and he's put it at Caleb, and now Caleb is lifting his level. And is Luther going to do the same? I think you would like to think that he will, but who knows? We have no body of work on him. We know that he came in here because he fell in the trap because there were character concerns. So raising the bar for him, giving him accountability. This guy's even going to talk about me in the media and talk about things. Well, hopefully that'll be good for Luther. Hopefully he will put a big chip on his shoulder to prove that he can get with the program. If he does, it'll be huge for the Bears.
And if he doesn't,
well, then then the red shirt year that we talked about yesterday that people got mad about is going to happen. He's got serious players in front of him. ALLCITY Zacchaeus is a good football player. He's been doing it for a long time. Rome is doing everything right every single day. DJ is going nowhere. And there's other guys, Miles Boykin, JP Richardson, who are fighting to get in there and know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's and by the way, I should mention, just Johnson's been out the last couple of days. We still have our practice reports. Pat Norton and I went back to forth today. That'll be up, if it's not already, allchgo.com for diehards. And we went back and forth a little bit about this too. And here's the thing though. I'm here for all this. I'm enjoying it. It's refreshing honesty that, like, we're seeing this, we're tracking this with Luther Burden, who's a high profile second round pick for the Chicago Bears. And the head coach is calling it what it is. And then it came out on the practice field again today. The coach called him out. I also think it's notable, he got first team reps today. This is the first time we saw him.
That was notable.
With the ones.
Agreed.
So it's not like they're like,
they didn't bury him.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, you're just out of here. You're bet. No, it's just you're trying to coach a guy. It's okay. And then you're going to get your opportunities. And then guess what? He screwed up later too because he had the penalty. He didn't get lined up properly in the 2-minute drill. So what's it look like tomorrow? I wrote this as well. This is a storyline I am excited to track. Whether he gets it or doesn't get it, what happens with Luther Burden over the next 3 weeks, I think is not only important from here's a weapon who can help the team this year standpoint. We're just also going to continue to learn a lot about Ben Johnson and his coaching staff.
Yeah, there's sure. But also on the field, I don't know, for you guys, the eye test, he looks bigger than I thought he would look. I mean, he's big,
he's fast, he's good.
He's impressive when you see him out there. Oh, that's why they were willing to roll the dice at 39.
He looks big because he's wearing a tight end's number. That's why.
Yeah. And pink shoes.
Yeah, and the pink shoes.
Pink shoes are interesting. Everybody else has got the whites on. You can't miss him. You can't. I'm not going to do my old man take, but I was like, I don't know. You just get healthy.
Where are the shoes everybody else is wearing? That was Carm take from the bleachers.
I'm just saying,
that was.
I will just say this: when you talk about getting first team reps,
pink shoes,
maybe whether or not he was ready for those, clearly on a couple of times where he had formation penalties, he wasn't ready for those reps. At the same time, you did hear DJ Moore talk about how he has been studying behind the scenes. So we aren't privy to know whether or not he's really honing in on that, and take it at face value at DJ Moore's word. And I hope that is the case. Now he has to learn to take that and execute it, on the field. But at the end of the day, when you talk about Ozzie Trapillo, when you talk about Luther Burden, they were drafted in the second round for a reason. They are not going to wait around to develop them. I know you referenced the redshirt year. That's not what they had in mind when they drafted these guys. They are going to put these guys, especially Luther Burden, who is a playmaker. And so they need to get him up to speed. He needs to get himself up to speed because they need a playmaker on this offense at the level that he can do it.
All right, we got to hit our last break because we're up against it. We'll come back, though. We got more on the rookie that does definitely look good with good first impressions. We'll also break down the left tackle update for today. But first, hey, new vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus sales event right now. You can lease the new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $399 a month for 27 months. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. The expert team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. They prioritize affordability, and that's how you know you're not going to overpay for the vehicle that you need. Plus, with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons and no hidden fees ever. The prices we talk about on the show, that's the price you pay when you go in there. Go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Don't miss out on the Employee Pricing Plus sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com.
That's right. And when you hit up Ray, you buy a car, you can drive all the way to Viva Las Vegas. It's probably easier to fly. And if you do, with our guys over at True Fan Travel, that's all included in the package. If you want, you have the option to add flights to your trips because we are hitting the road once again with True Fan Travel. We did a trip to London last year. We did a trip to Arizona. They were a great time because True Fan Travel knows how to do things right. And we want you guys to join us there because it's just going to be awesome as we take over the Strip, as the Bears take on the Raiders on September 25th. We're getting in on Friday. 3-night stay at a premium Vegas hotel. We've got tickets to the game included. That's one of the most important parts of this. Tickets are not easy to come by for that game. VIP parties, tailgates, pregame, postgame shows, everything, you name it. So don't gamble on missing the ultimate fan experience. Book your spot now at truefantravel.com and search CHGO Bears.
All right, keeping things rolling, and just a reminder, hit that like button. Please subscribe, become a diehard. A lot of great reasons to do so. Carman, I know you have one more Luther Burden point you want to make that will, and this will be Emmy Award winning.
This is going to be, you're going to like this one. Yeah, I think you're going to like it a lot.
That means we're going to hate it.
Look, let me just say this. And there's an if in front of it, but if they're right and they can coach Luther Burden up, and they're right that they can break Caleb down, build him back up, and all the reasons why Ben came here. If those two dudes hit with everything else that you're seeing out there, from Drew Dahlman to growing Ozzie Drapillo to the solid Joe Tooney to a defense that looks pretty damn competent out there with Dennis Allen, you could dial up a hell of a year for your Chicago Bears if those two things happen. If Luther Burden impacts like they're supposed, like they hope that he will, immediately this year somehow rise himself up, that's a big leap right from where he's at right now. But if that happens along with Caleb, watch out. The Bears could be real dangerous.
My only quibble is that if Ozzie Trapillo grows anymore, he's going to be too big, and then he can't play left tackle anymore.
Maybe you just grow a little wider, a little thicker.
He said he's growing.
Well, he's a huge.
And before you get to the next point, you bring up Ozzie Trapillo, so I'll just say it now because I don't know where we're going with the rest of this, but to me, I did have my eyes on Ozzie Trapillo, and I do have an Ozzie Trapillo agenda that I am going to implement as I'm at training camp. I'm making no bones about that. So, you have your Bajan agenda. I have my Ozzie Trapillo agenda. And
I have no agendas.
And Hoge has no agendas, of course.
I take offense
he is blessed,
I have any
we
agendas.
are blessed to be around him. But watching Ozzie Trapillo stonewall more than a couple times show that he has a really good anchor, and he should for the size that he has. But I also saw some lateral quickness. There was a couple times where guys tried to spin around the outside, and he was able to get out and contain the edge. And so those are the things that I think Ozzy Trapillo is going to be challenged on. And so it was exciting to see him able to execute those things.
I'm going to have to put more eyes on the lateral quickness, but I'll pay attention to that tomorrow. Lateral quickness, Trapillo, I'm on it.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it with Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji, and Ozzy Trapillo. They're all getting a fair shake at left tackle reps. So honestly, you should, like when we have the segment of, mark yourself useful, that should be, and we do have the graphic for mark yourself useful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steven. And if you do want to mark yourself useful, Carm, maybe you should just keep your eye on left tackle for an entire practice and tell me what you see.
Well, I did have my ears open today, and it was very interesting in the Ben Johnson press conference, marking myself useful, that he's like, hey, we're not in a hurry to do this. The next time we might even think about talking about putting somebody permanently at left tackle would be the off day on Friday. But even then, they're not exactly racing towards it, which speaks to what I'm seeing, which I think is a very tight competition. And it may be Trapillo. And he also added that he does want the 5-2 play together because in his experience, I quote, that matters. So at some point, the sooner the better. But right now, that competition is very much evolving.
All three of them got first team reps today.
Yep.
Again.
That's your left tackle update for today. And more importantly, I feel like Ben Johnson calling out the offensive line this morning also with some honesty, saying that they're giving him way too much pressure right now, which I agree with. And I think that continued today. So,
that's a very fair take.
So,
and an obvious one.
That'll be continued, and yeah.
Take that, PFF top 4. They got to play together before you make them top 4. PFF. We love you, PFF.
And I do have an agenda. My agenda is that JP Richardson should get punt return opportunities.
You talked to Hightower. He called you coach yesterday. You have pull with Hightower.
Well, I told him that. He told me he was on the chart,
but he said everyone's on the chart. You need to have
You're not on the chart.
I'm not. No,
I'm about to be off this chart, replaced by Jackson the Cat.
Where is Jackson? Get out.
Oh, I locked him away.
Okay.
He should have been locked away before.
What about one of the TTNL guys? They're probably lurking.
Your allergy medicine?
I'm good.
You're okay.
I'm good.
You got it here just in case. These are, some good loratadine just in case the cat dive bombs the show again. Okay. Colson Loveland. Great start. I mean, it's been a huge development in the last few days. Getting out there. I mentioned this at the start of camp. Like, I don't want to see these guys ramping up for like a month. You know what I mean? Like, it was enough of the ramping. They did ramp him up a little bit last week, but then it was like, go. Same thing with Luther Burden, by the way. Yesterday's like, okay, he's kind of out there. And then today's like, we'll do a little bit more. He's out there a lot. He was out there a lot today. So Get him out there, get him ready to go. We talked to Colson Loveland today. He said his shoulders feeling good. He's been showing that. He looks fluid. His route running looks really good. He's been making plays. Here's one thing I appreciate. He had sort of a jump ball situation, a deep ball from Tyson Bagent today with Ruben Hippolyte in coverage. By the way, shout out to Ruben Hippolyte, who showed off his speed to get to that spot and had good coverage.
TJ Edwards-esque to be 35 plus yards downfield for that play.
The ball was a little late. It was a little late.
It was underthrown and late.
Yeah. And who was the quarterback?
Yeah, I right.
Who was the quarterback? Say his name.
It was the
Oh, you got a little floppy mic situation going on there.
Okay, we're talking about like getting up to speed quickly. A lot of things that were making me think
you
about.
Still haven't said his name.
ED type medicines. Look, his name was Tyson Bagent, and it was the one bad throw at training camp that still was almost complete. Even when he's bad, he's right on the money. But yeah, I'm saying that I can say things that when things aren't great.
That was really hard.
Where some of us,
a lot of rambling going on there.
Some of us, lateral quickness, incredible lateral quickness.
Okay,
I think he does. Though. I think you're
what
right.
I was trying to say before they got incredibly derailed is that Colson Loveland did not catch that jump ball. I thought he should. I put it down as a drop, but I wasn't completely sure. And he got up to the podium after practice. Was like, without being asked about it, was like, I had one today that I should have caught downfield. So. I like to hear that.
Love
personal accountability too, because that's been the only slightly negative thing that I've seen from this kid in the first few days of practice, which is great. You want to see these guys get off to fast starts, and I believe we have some sound. Do we?
We do. Hoge and I took over the press conference today, so I thought it was. I think this is the first time all training camp long where we went Carm, Hoge, Carm. competitive room, but they let us get in love with Loveland. So I thought we would play this exchange, and I thought that it was just a wonderful underlining of the CHGO presence. So this was Colston Loveland. I started it out with asking about him staying healthy.
Are you slightly concerned when you take a hit or roll on the ground that you might be feel it the way you expect, and maybe just seeing it, maybe gain some confidence that you're okay?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say scared. It's just getting used to falling on it again. And yeah, it feels good. I feel like falling on it kind of helping, just getting it back acclimated to, football. And it feels great.
Also, what do you credit your route running abilities to?
I'd say a lot of things. I grew up kind of playing receiver throughout my life. Shout out to my older brother who's a receiver. He helped me a lot with that. And then my coaches throughout the years, high school coaches, college coaches, now NFL coaches, they've all had a big part of it, and it's helped for sure.
Have you had a moment yet, like this week or since camp started, where you're like, oh, this translates to the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every time we're out there, something's translating. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's football. It's very detailed football, and it's at the highest level. So, you're going against better competition, and we all know that. But at the end of the day, it's just go out there and, do what you've been doing your whole life and just make plays, go have fun, do the right thing, be detailed. And, so I feel like a lot of that translates for sure.
You're getting balls from all three quarterbacks. Have you done anything to kind of just ingratiate yourself? They all seem to have confidence in you want to give you the ball.
Yeah, the quarterback room, I love that room. They're all great, super good dudes, great football players. And as tight ends, you want to be the security blanket for anyone. It doesn't really matter who's throwing the ball. So that's just whoever's throwing it, whenever it's in the air, you want to come down with it.
So the reason why I asked him that question about moments that translate to the NFL was partially, and now I'm forgetting who was covering him in 7-on-7s the other day when
A bear.
It was a starter, was my point.
Yeah.
He got out there and he just quickly got open. Like it was the easiest thing in the world. And then today there was a pass that Caleb completed to Colston Loveland that kind of appeared a little bit late, even though it was a completion. I don't know. A lot of things can go into that, where he was in the progression. It also might have been that just Colston Loveland got open so quickly.
Yeah.
I think it was Jaquan Brisker lined up over him. I'm pretty sure it was a safety, but this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of some of the mismatches that you can get this guy who can run routes like a wide receiver matched up against linebackers and safeties, and hopefully you can take advantage of it. And he just very fluidly released at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And got open on what was essentially like a slant or, a low crosser.
He's making an impact, man.
It just seems like it's translating.
No,
That's why I asked him the question.
No, it was smooth to watch. It was wide receiver-esque. And so, today's portion of practice, you guys came over to our stands and I actually really enjoy standing next to you not so much, but I do like to stand next to Hoge during practice because it's hard to see everything. There's so much going on, and to have eyes on different things. You did call out the Drew Dahlman thing, so I'll give you credit there, Carman. You were aware for that portion of the program. But when we were watching him lined up, it was Jaquan Brisker, and he was playing off. And as Caleb walked up under center, you're like, that's probably where he should go. And as you said, we don't know where the progression is. So yes, it took him a second to find Colston, who was wide open as soon as they snapped the ball. He could have got to him right away. But regardless, Colston just continued to operate in that open zone. And he's massive. He is a big dude, and he runs fast. He runs smooth. The other day when he made his first appearance on Friday, he had this corner toe tapper. There was no defender at the time. They were just doing offensive, early skills drill. But just to watch, his ability to keep his feet in bounds and see that athleticism that you only typically see from more than typically see from a wide receiver, to have that in a tight end's body is exciting. And you just continue to see why they drafted him at 10 and how he can be a weapon.
Yeah. And here's why that matters. Because like we said, we don't know where he is in the progression right now, but when you watch when they go see that film today, the coaches Ben Johnson's going to be, I see it, Carr. I got my producer telling me what's going on. We have it timed up. At this point now, I'm going to save that point.
You're down to 30 seconds. We're leaving. You got to get it out. You're like Caleb. Now it's over.
This is the clock, buddy. Right there. It's ticking for you. Become a diehard. CHGO, ALLCITY.com. Just go ahead and keep that computer shut for the rest of the show, please. And great content like Johnson's feature coming up.
Oh.
It's already out. He's got another big one coming up on Randall L. So scan that QR code, become a diehard. And in the meantime, I will wrap up that thought on Colson Loveland and what Ben Johnson can do with it. But quickly, here's overtime. What I was trying to get out there, sucks for everybody watching on the fast channels. They'll never hear this thought.
But YouTube, you're hooked up. And you're welcome, Hoge.
So now, not that they didn't know this because they were drafting him, but you don't know how it's going to carry over. Now they know, and Caleb knows. Oh, when I had that tight end line up against the safety right there, he's going to get open quickly. So instead of it being whatever it was, second, third in the progression where the pass got to Colson, sort of in traffic where he had to make a tough catch, and then he just got tackled right away. It's third down. Bam, I know I have that option. And meanwhile, he's picking up 10, 15 yards after the catch because the ball's on him faster. And those are the types of adjustments you make as Ben. If you're Ben Johnson, if you're the play caller, you're the play designer, you switch up those progressions, or you give the quarterback the option, Aaron Rodgers-esque, right, where he's at the line of scrimmage and he's looking at his matchups and he changes the progressions on his own, especially on third down. Those hand signals he do, you just give him the hand signal. I'm coming to you right here. Bam, first down. That's the type of stuff we're going to see with somebody like Colson Loveland who can get open and have those mismatches that are very obvious for a quarterback to see at the line of scrimmage.
Well, and we don't know. We simply don't know what the progression is. It could have been his first progression, and we've heard a lot from Ben Johnson saying from a post-snap perspective that Caleb just needs to learn where his eyes need to be after the snap. So we simply don't know. They'll find out and they'll make the adjustments, but trying to figure out what the progression is futile because they're the only ones that know.
Yeah, but what Hoge is saying here, that if you have a dude who can get instantly open,
right,
the amount of comfort that is to a quarterback, especially a growing quarterback, that is an enormous piece of the puzzle coming together if that's the way this thing goes. So,
yep. All right, let's get to super chats, and then I think we'll probably close out the show with some thoughts on Ryan Sandberg. So let's, Steven, wherever you want to start, we'll start running through the supers. Always appreciate the super chats coming in. Ooh, our guy Kerry Huss.
Live Huss.
He gave us a $50 super chat. Hey guys, awesome job with the offseason coverage. Looking forward to real football. Keep up the great work. Bear down.
Thank you, Huss.
Appreciate it,
you.
Huss.
See you in Vegas.
Next up, Troy, $10. Appreciate the coverage, fellas. Wide receiver is fun to try and project. Do you guys think DJ turns into a gadgety Debo kind of role? Or is the Caleb Rome connection going to the moon this year? Love the show. Both.
Yeah. The fact that they put him in the backfield yesterday, and then Ben was asked about it today, and he's just like, we just want to get the ball in DJ's hands, because when the ball's in his hands, he does a lot of good things. That's another moment in time where Ben shows that he understands the players that are on his roster.
Right.
So I like it.
The easier you can get him the ball, the faster you can get him the ball, the better. That usually means closer to the line of scrimmage.
Right. And a little tidbit to add from a different training camp going on, but I just found this notable. Kevin O'Connell on Justin Jefferson sitting out until the regular season with a hamstring. He said, I have zero worry about the opener, but there's a lot of time between now and then. What that looks like, we're going to be smart, but at the same time, he wants to get back out there. So when you talk about what's going on here and trying to figure out your guys and building chemistry, well, JJ McCarthy, who's practicing in the
8 billion
heat,
interceptions,
they're doing all sorts of things. Well, and you're going to hear reports of ups and downs or whatever, but the bottom line is not having your number one wide receiver for the next month before you get ready for your first ever start in the NFL. And who knows if Jordan Addison's going to be available with the legality issues he has going on. I don't know. I'm already I know we're like 40 days away from week 1. So I'm already looking at those things. So when you talk about, getting to know your number one wide receiver, JJ McCarthy's going to have to wait till week 1 to do that.
You saw that he threw 5 interceptions one day.
No, I'm focused on us and how we can be better
Well,
every
he threw
day.
5 interceptions. 5.
It sounds
Second
great.
straight year, Jefferson with soft tissue issues, by the way. Just for the fantasy football players out there,
Paid him. He sucks.
might want to consider that. Also didn't seem to matter last year when he didn't play against the Bears. Samson Goudreau, $5. Gentlemen, echoing Brags here. 87 seems weird on Luther. Anyone wearing 13? A little Johnny Knox Aura. Anyone?
Yep, we do have some.
We have a
Yeah,
13.
Maurice Alexander. No,
Maurice
yeah, Maurice
Alexander.
Alexander. Yes, 13.
Like to call it.
Your days are numbered, Maurice.
He doesn't
Not-
want 13.
That's not nice. If he doesn't want 13, if you wanted 13, you would have 13.
Who's 3? Do we have a 3?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
we've
a
been over that
retired
a
number.
million times.
Oh, Nagurski.
It's been retired.
Whatever.
Every other number is retired.
Nobody remembers that. Just give him 3.
Marky Mapo, $20. I'm trying not to get too nervous about Caleb's accuracy issues. I know he has to unlearn what he learned last year, but to me, his deep ball accuracy is a huge problem that seems to still persist. Me no likey.
Well, you would have liked the deep ball to DJ Moore.
Yep.
Even
Carm
though Carm
didn't.
didn't like it,
Mhm.
everybody else liked it. And I promised the coaching staff when they watch the film will like it. So that was a nice throw. So just for today, good deep ball throw. There was
Marky-
only one, though.
Marky, you are underlining a concern that is valid. The deep balls have not been there. Hopefully he'll find it. It's very confusing, actually, because that was not a problem for him in college. I don't understand the deep ball thing. Does anybody have a good understanding of why he has struggled with the deep ball? I don't.
Well, I mean, we're diving back into, all the conversation topics we had for an entire year last year. So I don't think we need to get into those, but I think the bottom line, it comes down to being comfortable, and being able to trust the offensive line in front of you and sit in the pocket and throw with conviction. And also give guys like Roma Dunze an opportunity to catch one-on-one balls that sometimes may or may not be successful or complete or even intercepted, but have the confidence to let your guys go up and get it.
I'll accept that. Thank you. Good. Thank you, Marky.
Troy, $5. Little to no noise on Austin Booker so far. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel for our edge? Is Parsons, Hendrick even financially possible? I don't think those are happening.
I watched Booker a bunch today, and he didn't stand out. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I know Greg brought up concerns about Dio earlier. I've actually been pleasantly surprised with him so far in camp. I was not watching him as closely as Greg was today, so I can't speak on that. But I think overall, I've been a little bit more bullish than I was on what I thought was somewhat of a risky signing. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I do not think Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson are going to be on the Chicago Bears. Joseph with, I want to say these are Swiss francs, if I remember right, $10 or 10 Swiss francs.
Wow, Hogue.
Those are
job.
Chief Bucks.
Chief Bucks. Great job, boys. I cannot wait for the season. I want to know your thoughts if a real sleeper will make this team.
We talked about JP Richardson a lot. I think he's definitely in the mix.
I don't know about definitely.
I'm just saying he's in the mix.
I think
I'm not saying he's making the team. In the mix.
Joel Wilson, somebody we've talked about. He's had a little bit more of a quiet start to camp, though, compared to the spring when he was making plays all over the field. But there might be room for a fourth tight end.
He had a drop today.
I'll give you another name. Theo Benedette, the Canadian Eagle. He
got nicked up today too.
Well, he got nicked up, but he came back.
He did. He Benedetted himself back out there.
Well, it was interesting when Darnell Wright had his rest day the other day. He was the first string right tackle. That matters. By the way, small thing. I'm glad Darnell Wright's name just popped in my head. He had the rest day the other day. He looked a little fatigued today. Just something to keep on the radar. I'm going to be continuing to watch 58 because
I love this coaching staff for 58 because 58's got a lot of talent. 58's going to get pushed with this group.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably good for 58. It was off to a good start, but I think there's more for 58.
I mean, I haven't noticed any problems with him. I haven't seen him get beat, or have any struggles, but it is interesting. He had the rest day, and then, today looked a little gas.
Yeah, there was a moment.
Understandable. It was really hot.
It was really hot, but there was a moment where we were all standing there and he looked the most tired of anyone, but that's subjective. It's extremely hot and humid and everybody gets ready for the next play in a different way, but he certainly had hands on hips and he was sucking wind because it was a tough one today. And they certainly were battling out there with as much live as there was, but he was tired. Carm was tired. It's just what happens to some people.
You were live with that Diet Pepsi. CHF is a Swiss franc. Good job, Hogue.
Questionable Diet Pepsi. Gary Huss again. I don't know why I just called you Gary.
Got Gary
I
on the
apologize.
mind. Got Gary on the mind, who's
Gary.
on his way out to Milwaukee for the Cubs Brewers game, and he better bring home a win or don't come back.
Thanks for that update. $50. Vegas is going to be here before we know it. Can't wait to see you guys again. Gonna be awesome. Thanks, Carrie. We appreciate it.
Carrie, we're counting the days, baby. It's going to be awesome. Come to Vegas with us, truefantravel.com.
Me and Carrie will be swimming in the fountain in the lobby.
Well, there is a giant pool at Mandalay Bay. I recommend using that one. Cornell Bryant, $10. So, Carm, do you think Ben shouldn't scale back the playbook for a second-year young quarterback who's never played it down in the system? Us chat hear the backhanded compliments for 18. Hilarious.
Cornell, don't be sensitive. One, yes, I do think he should scale it back, and I think they absolutely are doing. Listen, trust in Ben, Cornell. Overflow with him, and then they're going to bring it back down. I don't know what the problem is. Don't have beef with Carm. It's a bad look for you. You're better than that.
Bad news.
Actually, the best look you can have is having beef with Carm.
Well,
it's popular.
Bad
It's
news
true.
for you, Carm, because Cornelius Pryor has more beef with you. $10. Why does Carm always just assume the worst from Caleb in the offense? Ben comes to the press conference, says we're right where we're supposed to be, and it's like you don't believe it.
I don't, Cornelius, because they don't tell the truth all the time. Not saying that he's straight lying. I am saying that he just might not want to be running everyone down right now 4 days into the training camp. So I don't believe everything. And by the way, I think a lot of people don't believe everything coaches say.
David Walsh says last night's After Dark was an excellent show despite the technical issues. Catch up on it if you haven't seen it already.
Well, we will never speak of the technical issues again because I had a meltdown, but I appreciate everyone that watched the show and efforted through those. And shout out to Steven for editing out said technical issues. So they'll never be seen or heard from again.
There were no technical
There were no technical issues. So, I
What?
appreciate everyone.
What a poll by Steven.
Oh, okay, Steven. Okay. I said, never to be seen again. And then you go and do this to me.
Look at those eyes.
That's panic. That is pure panic in my eyes. Okay.
Well,
But we made it through.
We can't all calmly get up and fix the camera when
Yeah.
it goes out.
I will give Braggs credit, though. He actually did exactly what he should have done to fix it. And as I've told you, every producer is going to have at least one of these things happen, and you actually handled it pretty well.
And as I pat myself on the back, I'll remind everyone tuned in that I am producing and hosting that show at the same
You're
time.
incredible.
That's
Yeah,
not
nobody
easy
can
to
do what you do.
You are incredible.
Well, I'm not saying nobody, but all I'm saying is
I can't do it.
Not easy.
I could do it.
You could not do it. The most distracted.
Couldn't produce a radio show. How are you going to do this?
First of all, I was a great radio producer. Second of all, what do you think I did back in the day at the old fan center? I produced and hosted, I think.
You got to understand your limitations. This is why when Mitch Rosen told me I was the terrible technical producer on the board, I was like, yes, I am. I press the wrong buttons all the time. Not my strength.
I'm shocked that you weren't a good technical producer. You're like, look at you.
It's 800 buttons. There's a computer. There's too much going on. There's ads. I'd forget to link them or I would accidentally link them and it would just be a mess.
Johnny Wana in the chat saying Carm can't even produce a coherent thought.
Oh,
Johnny
Johnny. My guy.
Oh, that's what we should do. The last 5 minutes of every show, it's like a Carm roast, and everyone just gets their shots.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Pull them up on screen.
That'd be great. Let's
Carm spends an hour
Also known
torturing
as Twitter.
or Bears Reddit.
Yeah. They love me in both those places, and I love you.
Crystal says, thank you again, Hoge. Love you guys. Bear down. See you all Saturday and Sunday. You're the best, Crystal.
Crystal is the best.
And Marcus, I think we have one more. I don't know. Yeah, we do. Marcus
Escobedo.
$5. Greg, you could put all eye drops in the world, but I can tell.
Yeah, everyone thinks that I'm high because they think that because my eyes the way they are. I used to be habitual. I used to be a habitual, indulger.
Your eyes don't look red to me.
I know, but everyone thinks it. It's just, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I'm not trying to brag, but I just have amazing blue eyes, and they're just they just cut into you. And so it might seem like I'm on LSD, but I'm not. I'm just a normal guy,
He's on copious amounts of so he's got all
his baseline is LSD.
Oh, full disclosure, I quit. I quit indulging in Mary Jane a long time ago.
He's built today on Taco Bell, soda, and whiskey. Those are the three things flowing through him on a daily. And we're going to enjoy Greg while we have him.
As I slug down my third Starbucks drink of the day. Not far behind.
I've only had water today. Haven't eaten. It's trying to take it down.
It's on you.
No, it's good. I'm happy about it. I'm trying to do something here.
All right.
It's about time.
Yesterday's news.
Starve method.
Yesterday, as we pivot hard to something more serious, yesterday's news was not very surprising.
Yeah.
Based on what we were kind of hearing and what we knew, but nonetheless, I was kind of flipping back and forth between the Sox and Cubs games last night, and yeah, when that news came out, you know what I like. Ryan Sandberg, I feel like, is on the Mount Rushmore of Chicago sports figures. Like he is definitely up there with Walter Payton and Michael Jordan. Not necessarily like in like where they would rank in their respective sports necessarily, but just like in terms of where they rank in the hearts of Chicagoans. Because like you guys know this about me. I am a White Sox fan. When I was a kid, I loved Ryan Sandberg. I was a second baseman. I had the Ryan Sandberg Rawlings glove. I still have it, actually. I could probably go get it out of my office. I have this memory of being in Chatham, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. They had a baseball card store there. And like there was like a awesome Ryan Sandberg card in there that was like $12. And I was like had to come up with the $12 to pay for it. Because I want it so bad. I still have that. He was just like everything that was right about baseball. And I tweeted this last night too, because there's plenty of examples that we can all talk about where it's like never meet your heroes. And with Ryan Sandberg, that was not the case. And there's a million stories about it. And I like risked being fired from my restaurant job because he was eating at the restaurant. It's kind of a no-no when you work at a restaurant to go bother somebody that's, somebody famous who comes in or whatever. And I walked over to him with a piece of paper and I asked him for his autograph. And this was right after he got in the Hall of Fame, and he signed it, Ryan Sandberg, HOF, 2005, and could not have been nicer. And then, that was like probably the start or right before my media. No, it was probably before, because I would have still been in college. So then there's been some opportunities over the years too, just, whether it was working at the Score or whatever, WGN, where you get a chance to interact with them. Just, unbelievable guy, and somebody that anybody who grew up in Chicago or cared about Chicago sports, whether you liked baseball, didn't like baseball, liked the Cubs, liked the White Sox, everybody loved Ryan Sandberg, and that includes me. So even though you kind of knew that was coming, that it's still like, I think it hit all of us last night.
Well, go next. You want me to go?
No, you can go.
Well, I was 11 years old in 1984 when the Cubs won the division for the first time since 1945. And for my 11th birthday, we went to, it was a Sunday, at least how I remember it, Cubs Mets. I was allowed to bring like 4 friends. We sat in the very upper level of the terrace. Papa Fred made the old corned beef sandwiches, and the Cubs swept the Mets that day. And of course went on to win the division. And like Rhino, for an 11-year-old, he literally was everything. You wanted to play like Sandberg. You wanted to have the level swing. You wanted to make all the plays. You wanted to do things the right way. You wanted to be fast. Dude stole 54 bases in a year. He won a batting title in 84, hitting 314. He had 40 bombs in 1990 to lead the league. All the things. But my best Sandberg story is when I was, before I had the unbelievable opportunity to come over here, and thank you to what you find people here, mainly you, Hoge, to bring me here. You've tried to fire me many times. I'm sure one day you'll be successful. But at Fansided, Rhino was sponsoring Jim Beam or something. So you got to go to his house and interview him in his garage. So he's got this whole setup. We cheered to start the interview, and I got to sit with him for like 30 minutes and talk to him. We pack up all the gear. We're leaving. Thanks so much, Rhino. It was really great to be here. And he's like, he just looks at us and he's like, do you guys want to come in? And he invites us into his house, into his Hoge basement, into his Sandberg basement. And it was just all 9 gold gloves, his jerseys, road jerseys, home jerseys, a letter from Harry Carey. Dear Rhino, I don't come in the clubhouse because I want to maintain my objectivity, but I did just want to let you know what an enormous credit you are to the Chicago Cubs and the fan base and the way you represent yourself and the team. And I just want to let you know how much you're appreciated. It was like so cool to see this. And he didn't have to bring us down there. He didn't have to do any of that. We was super nice the whole time, but he just went above and beyond. And I would see him at the farmer's market every now and then because he lived around here. He just truly one of the nicest pro, unbelievable talent, unbelievable human being. So yes, it hit hard yesterday. RIP to Rhino. Loved him. One of the best.
Yeah, I would say, I didn't really get any personal interaction with Rhino. I know how much he meant, obviously, to Cubs fans everywhere. When I started coming up, when you talk about Mount Rushmore from 1984 to 1994, might have been the golden era of Chicago sports, starting with the Cubs making the playoffs in 84 and then the Bears winning the Super Bowl and then the Cubs in 89. And then you had Michael Jordan from 85 to 93 winning 3 NBA championships and everything.
Hawks made a Stanley Cup final in there.
Right. So,
92.
Right. So it really was with Roenick and Shelley. So like it was the golden era of Chicago sports. And that was my formative years of becoming a Chicago sports fan. And Rhino was right in the middle of all of that. Shout out to the Cubs for putting his statue up last year and having that ceremony. The best thing the Cubs have done is that little, line of statues honoring some of these players. So Rhino got his flowers on the way out. And honestly, shout out, like I said, just from the coverage standpoint last night, the news broke in the middle of the game. Shout out to the CHGO Cubs team. I think they did a great job paying tribute with the show they did. And I thought they did an incredible job. And quite frankly, the Marquee Network did an incredible job. They had Bob Costas on, and obviously he's one of the greatest storytellers of all time. He was at Rhino's statue ceremony last year at Wrigley. Obviously, their paths crossed when he called the famous 2 home run game. I mean, how many 2 home run games?
The
Sandberg game lives in infamy, right? And it's just your run of the mill 2 home run game. You see them all the time, right? But for that moment, that kind of goes to show you what sports media was like and how they covered games like that back then. And Rhino just lives in infamy as a Chicago Cub. And so I thought CHGO Cubs did a great job. I thought Marquee did a great job paying tribute to him last night. And, I've seen video of fans throwing flowers at his statue and stuff. So now's the time, to think about these moments and celebrate. And I've seen so many people that had those personal interactions bring up those things and say how great of a guy he was. So his reputation precedes him.
Harry was on radio for the Sandberg game, and if you can find it out there, his call is just unbelievable. He did it again. It's so unbelievably good.
I would also say this too, because Ryan Sandberg was so accessible and nice in the media. There's a lot of people that have great stories, but I would, in particular, I know he's retired now and he's like a golf caddy, and he's not like a golf caddy. He literally is a golf caddy, and he's got great stories with that too. But if you hear or read Barry Rosner at all, in the next few days, I don't know if he's already done a hit today anywhere. Just a lot of people knew Ryan Sandberg, but few knew him as deeply as Barry Rosner did. And just Barry Rosner and I, became good friends over the years, and just hearing, I texted him this last night, just hearing his Ryan Sandberg stories in particular, over the years, was like, he's like the first person I thought of last night when this went down. So,
I thought it was a nice touch for Ben Johnson to start his press conference
it really was.
Morning, as somebody that is a diehard Cubs fan himself, always talks about being in the bleachers, starting his press conference, paying tribute to Ryan Sandberg.
And he also mentioned what happened at the NFL headquarters yesterday, which was horrible. And I saw Diana Rossini reported on the NFL employee who got shot, and was like, despite getting shot in the back, like still calling people to warn them about what was going on and everything. So glad he's okay, because obviously not everybody was okay in that. An NYPD officer lost his life in that. So horrible event.
As Ben said, there's things that are bigger than sports.
Yes.
And we are certainly excited for this season, and we're passionate and dialed into every little tidbit of coverage. But, obviously with all the different stories last year or yesterday across the sports landscape, kind of reminds you that this is the toy aisle. This is the entertainment industry. And, some of the realities of life, kind of really hits home on a day like yesterday.
All right. That being said, we're very happy you all tuned in for today's show as we recap another practice and we try to get everything in there. Thank you, Patrick Simmons, for throwing an extra super chat in there at the end. He says, "I'm back, baby. Bears will win the North this year." It's a bold prediction. But
Let's
I feel
go,
it.
Patrick.
I feel it, Patrick. Speaking of Patrick's, Pat Norton filling in for Johnsy today. We have a practice report, allchgo.com. Make sure you check that out. I know he had a couple exclusive interviews too. He
talked with Noah Sewell and he talked with Austin Booker, I believe. I know he talked to Sewell. Booker was on the docket too.
So he'll have some good coverage from you. Johnsy will be back on Thursday. We'll have you covered throughout the weekend as well. Family Fest is Sunday. We're not going anywhere. If the Bears practice, we have a show for you here, and we appreciate you tuning in. We also appreciate our presenting sponsor during camp coverage. That is Circus Sports Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back tomorrow, 1 p.m. We'll be out there. Another practice, open practice to the fans. Let's see if the intensity stays up. Let's see if there's offensive progress stays at a high level. Or
Rain, stay away.
And the cooler temperatures, too.
Oh, cooler temperatures are welcome, but rain stay away.
See, I'm okay with the heat.
I am too.
I'm not going
to
complain about it.
I think if you say it really forcefully, you can scare
Threaten
the rain.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we need a 3:00 tea time tomorrow is what I think. All right. We'll be
Don't
back
tell
tomorrow.
Jenny.
We will not.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.